What if a single apple pie could change your entire life? Late one night at a nearly empty McDonald's, a struggling single mom made a split-second decision. She swiped her own debit card to pay for a tired customer's meal, a man she didn't recognize at first. That man, Elon Musk. She didn't expect a thank you. She definitely didn't expect security footage of her small act of kindness to go viral overnight. But what happened next? No one, not even her, could have imagined. She was fired, publicly humiliated. But just when she thought her life had fallen apart, a twist of fate, buried deep in the past, came back around. This is the true story of how a forgotten wallet, a late-night shift, and a long-lost connection changed one woman's life forever and launched her into a future she never thought possible. Watch until the end, because the most shocking part, it wasn't just her life that changed. It was the beginning of something far bigger, and it might just change yours too. Welcome back, dear listeners of Heartfelt Stories. Tonight's tale begins in the stillness of midnight, under the humming glow of a fast food sign. What starts as a tired mother's act of kindness becomes a ripple that will stir the lives of many and change one woman's destiny forever. If you believe in fate, second chances, or the power of a good heart, this story is for you. Danielle Carter had learned to smile through exhaustion. It was past 11:30 p.m., and the McDonald's on the edge of Hendersonville, North Carolina, was nearly empty. Danielle wiped down the counter with slow, aching motions, counting the minutes until her shift ended. Her sneakers, once white, now scuffed gray, clung to her swollen feet. She'd been on her feet for over 8 hours, and all she could think about was home, her tiny apartment, her 2 sleeping children, and the unpaid rent that threatened to break her. A photo was taped inside her locker door. 2 small faces beamed at her. Lily, age 9, always hugging her stuffed rabbit, and Noah, age 7, his thick glasses too large for his little face. They were staying with Ms. Thompson, the elderly neighbor who stepped in like a guardian angel when Danielle needed help. "Order up," called Brian from the grill. Danielle handed the brown bag to a yawning truck driver and offered her practiced line, "Have a good night." She glanced at the clock, just 26 more minutes. Then Jenna's voice came through the headset, urgent and tired. "Hey, Danny, can you take the next car? I really got to use the bathroom." Danielle sighed. "Sure," she said, sliding over to the drive-through window. "Welcome to McDonald's. What can I get started for you tonight?" A male voice, low and tired, responded, "Just a large black coffee, 2 double cheeseburgers, and a large fries. That'll be $12.87. Please pull up to the first window." But as the sleek, unfamiliar Tesla glided toward the window, Danielle blinked. This wasn't the typical beat-up sedan or rumbling pickup she saw at this hour. And when the driver's window rolled down, she froze. Her hand tightened around the card reader. She knew that face. The messy hair, the dark circles under his eyes, the tired genius expression. Elon Musk. The Elon Musk. He was dressed simply, t-shirt with a science joke she didn't get. But there was no mistaking him. What on earth was one of the richest men alive doing at a McDonald's in rural North Carolina near midnight? He looked embarrassed. I think I left my wallet back at the office," he said, patting his pockets, checking the cup holder, even lifting the car's center console. "It's been a 20-hour day. My brain's fried. I'm so sorry. I'll head back." Danielle saw something in his face that surprised her. Vulnerability. Without thinking, she pulled out her own debit card. The one with exactly $43.20 left on it until payday. "It's okay," she said gently. "I've got it." "You don't have to do that," he replied, his brow furrowing. "I know," she said with a smile, "but I want to." She swiped her card, printed the receipt, and as she handed him the food, she tucked an apple pie into the bag. "You look like you could use something sweet." He stared at her. Then something flickered across his face. Was it recognition? "Thank you, Danielle," he said softly, reading her name tag. She nodded. "My son's a fan, has a poster of you in his room, wants to build rockets someday." He smiled, a real one, not the polished kind from interviews. "Tell him to keep dreaming big." And with that, he drove away into the darkness. Danielle finished her shift, caught the last bus home, and quietly thanked Miss Thompson before kissing her sleeping children. She didn't think much of the interaction. It was just food, just kindness. Something her mother had always taught her: give what you can, even when you don't have much. She didn't know that a camera had captured everything, or that by lunchtime the next day, millions of people around the world would be watching it. At her warehouse job the next day, her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. She ignored it until Rachel, her sister, called 3 times in a row. "You're on the internet, Danny," Rachel screamed. "The video! McDonald's, Angel! That's you! You gave Elon Musk free food." Danielle's heart dropped. Wait, what? The video was everywhere. Security footage had leaked. Danielle swiping her card, adding the apple pie, and Elon Musk driving away. The comments poured in. "She's amazing. Elon better give her a Tesla." Faith in humanity restored. But beneath the praise, Danielle felt dread. Because at McDonald's, there was one rule she knew all too well. No free food, ever. Not even for a billionaire. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was from Mr. Peterson, her manager. "See me in my office tonight." By the time she arrived at McDonald's that evening, a crowd was waiting outside, pointing their phones at her. Inside, Mr. Peterson's face was red. "You gave away food," he hissed. "I paid for it," Danielle argued, trembling. "And the apple pie? Did you pay for that too?" She swallowed hard. "No, but—" "You don't get paid to make exceptions, Danielle. You're fired, effective immediately." Her hands shook as she signed the papers. She'd worked there for 3 years, never missed a shift, never called in sick. She walked out, hoodie pulled over her head, as strangers called her a hero, while she just lost the job that kept her family afloat. Later, sitting at her kitchen table by candlelight, because the power bill was overdue, Danielle wept. She had no idea that across the state, in a quiet office, Elon Musk was watching that same footage. Again and again, rewinding, zooming in. "Danielle Carter," he muttered to himself. Something about her name tugged at a distant memory, a kindness from long ago. Could it really be? He picked up his phone. Find out everything you can about her. And as Danielle drifted into sleep on her couch, having given her bed to her kids, she had no clue that this was not the end. It was the beginning of a journey that would uncover a connection she never knew existed, bring her face to face with a billionaire again, and rewrite her family's future forever. But how? Why did Elon Musk feel he knew her? And what would happen when he finally uncovered the truth? If you were in Danielle's shoes, would you have paid for that meal? Have you ever helped someone not knowing how it might come back to you? What do you think Elon Musk is about to discover? And if one small act of kindness could change your life, would you still do it even if no one was watching? Let us know in the comments. Your story matters. The morning sun rose over Hendersonville, but for Danielle Carter, the light felt heavy. She stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, tired eyes, faded blue t-shirt, and a heart that hadn't stopped aching since her termination. No job, no savings, no safety net. She'd spent the night trying to explain the impossible to her children. Why the job that bought their food, paid for their medicine, and kept the lights on was suddenly gone. Because she dared to show kindness. And now the world was watching. The video had exploded. 20 million views. News outlets were calling her the McDonald's angel. But none of that filled a fridge. None of that paid rent. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. She didn't answer. Later that afternoon, Mrs. Thompson dropped by with a small brown box. "This came for you," she said, eyes kind but worried. "You doing okay, sweetheart?" Danielle nodded half-heartedly. "Just figuring things out." After the neighbor left, Danielle sat at the kitchen table and opened the package. Inside was Noah's asthma medication. Thank God for state insurance. Then she noticed the pantry again, nearly bare. Half a loaf of bread, a single can of beans, 3 eggs. Her heart sank. She fed Lily and Noah buttered pasta. Again. They didn't complain. They never did. But Danielle saw it in their eyes. They were starting to understand. The worry, the hunger, the silence that falls over a house when a mother doesn't know what to do next. After they went to bed, she returned to the couch, opened her battered old laptop, and searched through job listings. everywhere within 2 bus routes, diner, gas station, grocery store. She filled out application after application, but when they asked, "Why did you leave your last job?" what could she say? She was blacklisted, too visible, too controversial. Oh, we. The viral fame that brought strangers to tears had slammed shut the doors she needed most. Then she noticed an email buried among the spam. Regarding your act of kindness? E. Just a letter for a signature. E. It could have been anyone. A scam. A fake. Another attempt to honor her on social media for clicks. But it didn't feel fake. It read, "Miss Carter, I'd like to speak with you about something of mutual importance. Coffee tomorrow 2 p.m. at Green Bean Cafe, Main Street. I'll be in touch." She stared at it for a long time. Could it be? No. Impossible. But then again, why had Elon Musk looked at her that way, like he knew her? The next day, after arranging for Mrs. Thompson to watch the kids, Danielle caught a bus across town. Her heart pounded with every stop closer to Main Street. The Green Bean Cafe wasn't fancy, but it was warm, inviting, filled with soft music and the scent of cinnamon and fresh roast. Danielle ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, a small black coffee, and found a seat near the door, her hands trembling around the paper cup. At exactly 2 p.m., a sleek black car pulled up outside. The door opened, and a woman in a crisp blazer stepped inside, eyes sweeping the room. She spotted Danielle immediately. "Miss Carter?" she asked, her voice calm and polished. "I'm Allison Reeves, executive assistant to Mr. Musk." Danielle's jaw tightened. "So it was him!" "May I sit?" Danielle nodded slowly. Allison placed a sleek tablet on the table. "Mr. Musk asked me to reach out personally. He saw the video. He was deeply moved. But he also recognized your name. That's why he asked to meet." Danielle blinked. "Recognized my name? How?" Allison leaned in slightly. "That's not for me to explain. But Mr. Musk would like to meet you himself. Tomorrow morning. Tesla headquarters. Transportation will be arranged." Danielle's heart thudded in her chest. "Tesla headquarters? We'll pick you up at 9:30 a.m. and..." Allison slid an envelope across the table. "He insisted you have this, no matter your decision." Danielle opened the envelope slowly. Inside was a thick stack of $100 bills, $2,000 in total. She gasped. I can't accept this." Allison's tone remained gentle but firm. "It's not charity, it's compensation for what you lost. Please, Miss Carter, take it. It would mean a lot to him." Danielle said nothing, her mind spinning. The offer, the money, the mystery. What could Elon Musk possibly want with her? Back home, she used a portion of the money to buy groceries. Real groceries, chicken, fresh fruit, milk. The kids squealed when they saw ice cream in the freezer. They hadn't had dessert in weeks. She didn't tell them where it came from. Not yet. That night, after they fell asleep, Danielle stood at the window and looked out at the moonlit street. Was this all real? Could it be? And more importantly, what if this was the moment everything changed? The next morning came fast. Danielle woke early, brushed her hair twice, and put on the navy blue dress she'd worn to her cousin's wedding. Slightly too loose now from skipping meals, but still the best she had. At exactly 9:30, a silver Tesla pulled up outside her apartment building. A driver in a dark suit stepped out, nodded politely, and opened the door. "Miss Carter, I'm Marcus. I'll be taking you to Tesla headquarters." Danielle sat in stunned silence as the car glided out of her neighborhood. The seats were buttery soft. Classical music played quietly through hidden speakers. She stared out the window as the world changed around her, from old brick buildings and bus stops to glass towers and green lawns. They arrived at a sprawling complex in Silicon Valley. Danielle's jaw dropped as she stepped inside. This wasn't just an office. It was like something out of a movie. Quiet elevators with no buttons, floors made of recycled bamboo, walls covered in screens and solar art. And then, there he was, Elon Musk. Standing by the floor-to-ceiling windows of his office, sunlight catching the edge of his frame, eyes full of something she didn't expect, warmth. "Danielle Carter," he said, stepping forward with a hand extended. "Thank you for coming. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Again." "Again?" Danielle shook his hand, her brow furrowed. I don't understand. Elon smiled slightly, motioning for her to sit. What I'm about to tell you might sound unbelievable, but I promise, it's true. And then he told her something that made her blood run cold. Something that pulled her into a past she didn't know she was a part of. Something about her mother. And a night 20 years ago? What happened on that forgotten night? What connection could possibly exist between Elon Musk and a struggling single mom from Hendersonville? And what secret has been buried for decades, waiting to be revealed? Right here, in this office, we'll uncover it in part 3. But before that, let me ask you, have you ever felt like something in your life wasn't a coincidence at all, but destiny? What would you do if someone powerful said they remembered your family from a moment you'd never even heard of? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We can't wait to hear your stories. Danielle sat still, her hands trembling in her lap. The Tesla office around her was silent, save for the soft hum of air conditioning and the quiet tick of a wall clock. Elon Musk sat across from her, his eyes steady, searching hers. You said you've met me before? She asked. No, Elon replied gently. Not you, but someone who looked just like you. Someone who gave me hope when I had nothing. He reached into a drawer and pulled out an old, slightly faded photograph. Danielle leaned forward. Her breath caught. A younger woman smiling behind the counter of a McDonald's, her name tag barely visible. Maria Carter, Danielle's mother. She worked the night shift at the McDonald's in Palo Alto, Elon said. This was 20 years ago. I was broke, just a guy with ideas and barely enough to eat. And your mother noticed. She'd slide me an extra burger when no one was looking, a coffee when I looked like I was about to fall asleep on my feet. One night, I didn't have enough coins to pay. She smiled and said, "One day, pay it forward." Danielle's throat tightened. She never told me. She didn't do it for recognition, Elon continued. She did it because that's who she was, just like you. He looked directly at her now, the weight of the moment settling between them. The night you paid for my meal, I didn't recognize your face, but your name, Carter. It triggered something. I had to find out. I had to know. Tears welled in Danielle's eyes. Her mother had passed away 5 years ago, and now somehow, that small act of kindness, something her mother probably forgot about the next day, was changing her daughter's life in ways she never imagined. Elon reached across the desk and slid another folder toward her. This isn't charity. This is a job offer. Real position, real salary. You'd be in customer experience, working directly with teams to improve how we serve our people. What you did, the way you connected instinctively, that's what we need more of in this company. Danielle hesitated. But I've never worked in an office. I didn't even finish college. You have something far more important, Elon said. Empathy, integrity. We can teach skills, we can't teach heart. She opened the folder. Her eyes widened. Starting salary, $85,000. Full health coverage, flexible hours, paid training, childcare assistance, and a Tesla transportation benefit. Tears spilled freely now. She covered her mouth, overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Elon smiled. Say yes, and then pay it forward. 2 months later, Danielle walked into her new office at Tesla, not as a guest, but as an employee. Her desk overlooked a small garden, and the staff had already welcomed her with open arms. Her supervisor, James, praised her during her first week. You're a natural, Danielle. You listen better than most people talk. Her children were thriving too. Lily had joined a dance class, and Noah's asthma was under control thanks to consistent care. They'd moved into a safer apartment, with sunlight streaming in through wide windows and enough space for the kids to have their own rooms. For the first time in years, Danielle wasn't worried about groceries, medicine, or rent. And that wasn't all. 3 months into her new role, Danielle received a message on her Tesla employee portal. See me at 2 p.m. She knew what that meant. This time, when she walked into Elon Musk's office, she wasn't trembling. She stood tall. You've done more than we hoped, Elon said, shaking her hand. And I have one more proposal for you. Danielle tilted her head. More? I want you to lead a new initiative, the Carter Program. His tone softened. A mentorship and support network for single parents, looking to re-enter the workforce. Training, career advice, financial literacy, real opportunities. Danielle felt her heart skip. Named after my mom? Yes, Elon said, in honor of the woman who gave me a second chance when I needed it most, and the daughter who unknowingly did the same. She didn't need time to consider. Let's do it. That winter, Tesla held its annual holiday celebration, a glittering event in a grand hotel ballroom. Danielle arrived with Lily and Noah, both dressed in their best. Beside her stood Ben, a quiet, thoughtful engineer she'd gotten to know over the past few months. Their connection had grown, built not just on shared lunches and science fair projects, but something deeper: mutual respect, understanding, and kindness. As the lights dimmed, Elon took the stage. I want to tell you a story, he began, about a late-night drive-through visit, a forgotten wallet, and a woman who showed me kindness without knowing who I was. But this story doesn't start there. It starts 20 years ago, with another woman, her mother, a McDonald's worker who gave a broke engineer free food and hope. Danielle's eyes welled up as she watched the crowd begin to understand. That act of kindness created a ripple, Elon continued. That ripple found its way back to me, and now we pass it on. He gestured toward Danielle. Please welcome the new Director of Community Engagement at Tesla, Danielle Carter. The room erupted into applause. Danielle stood, heart pounding, and walked to the stage. She looked out over the crowd, employees, executives, their families, all watching her. My mom believed that kindness was never wasted, she began. She worked nights so I could have a better life. She didn't know that her kindness would one day come back, not just for her, but for her kids, and for so many others. She looked down at Lily and Noah. This job changed our lives, and now I want to help change someone else's. The applause came again, but this time Danielle didn't cry. She smiled, because she knew she wasn't just surviving anymore. She was leading, and all of it had started with a forgotten wallet, an apple pie, and a simple act of kindness. So now we ask you, what did you feel while watching Danielle's story unfold? Did it move you, surprise you, or inspire you? Comment below and let us know. Type 3 if this story touched your heart and gave you hope. Type 2 if you found it interesting, but think it could have been even better. Type 1 if it didn't meet your expectations. Also, tell us what country you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel. And if this story reminded you of someone who has shown you kindness, share this video with them. You never know how one small act can change someone's life.